Here's everything you need to know about cooking a steak. Let your steak come up to room temperature half an hour before cooking it. Inside cold, inside no cook. Bad. Then dry it thoroughly with paper towels. Outside dry, outside gets nice and brown. More flavor, good. Season your steak just before putting it into the pan. If you let it sit after seasoning, the salt will draw moisture to the surface, which screws with the formation of your crust. Now, instead of actually being good and controlling the temperature, we're gonna control the thickness of the steak and use color as a cue to get the doneness that we want. If we flip the steak once it's nicely brown and take it out when the other side is also brown, 2.5 cm will give us a medium, 3 cm will give us medium rare. It's not great to rely on timings from the internet because they might be using a different stove, pan, and even oil from you. For example, a steel or cast iron pan gets much hotter than a non-stick pan, which by the way you should try not to use, especially not the light supermarket kind. They don't retain heat well, causing the temperature to plummet when you put your steak in. Steaks will turn grey instead of brown, no flavor, bad steak, bad. Nightmare. If you have grown up on the internet like me, you will have come across the two biggest scams in steak cooking videos. One is that you need your pan on high heat, as high as you can go. You don't. Just medium high or medium will do. It doesn't take much to sear a piece of steak, and when it's a thick piece of steak, you want to give the heat time to reach the middle without burning the surface. If you cook steak and your pan is smoking like it's a coping mechanism, your heat is too high. The second biggest scam is olive oil. You want to use a cooking oil with a high smoke point, like canola oil or peanut oil. Because we are searing at a high temperature, olive oil has a low smoking point, so you might either lose your oil before your steak goes in or not have enough heat for your steak. So, when the pan is about 232 degrees Celsius. Wow, Eldrick, you just know when it's 232 degrees Celsius, huh? Yep. And so do you. Because the smoking point of peanut oil is 232 degrees Celsius, so just as the oil is starting to smoke, we are going to lay our steak gently away from us. If you have done a good job drying the steak, there should be very little oil spitting. And even if it does, at least it goes outwards. Press down on the steak for about 10 seconds. We are looking for this nice dark brown crust to form. Once we get that, flip the steak, add some butter, garlic and thyme and baste the steak. Once the other side gets color, we're gonna take it out and let it rest for 15 minutes. If you have standardized the thickness of the steak and both sides are brown like this, you can almost be certain that the inside is medium rare going medium. But Eldrick, I hear you ask, what if I want it rare or well done? Well then, sounds like someone just has to get good, huh? Stop scrolling social media all day, put some steaks on the stove and cook some freaking steaks, yeah? Can't always hide behind the I don't know how to cook uwu. I'm scared I'll burn down the kitchen. Yeah, relax Zuko. I'll be more concerned about whether you know how to turn on the stove.